So the first step is remembering that guilt is a feeling we get when we do something wrong or make a mistake. You're not making a mistake, and you have to remind yourself of that. Mom guilt sucks. It is the biggest pressure that we face as working moms. But moms, we don't have to be totally drowning in mom guilt. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to get rid of mom guilt altogether. Hey, I'm Lori Sulpizio. I'm a mindset and leadership coach, and I've got 4 kiddos of my own. And I'm going to give you 3 approaches in this video on how you can beat mom guilt. One's going to be a mindset or cognitive hack. We're going to talk about a behavioral hack, and we're going to talk about an emotional hack. And I appreciate you being here on this channel. I'm here to help you live a more meaningful and fulfilled life. So let's get right into it. So let's talk about why working moms feel such guilt. I mean, one big part of it is the message we get about what a right or good mom looks like. And those messages come from all over. And often the message of what a good mom looks like is in direct opposition to what a good professional or somebody who works looks like. And so for women, it's this impossible double bind of wanting to be good at work and good as a mom. And the other part is that we often compare ourselves to others. So we see the woman at our office that goes to all the networking events and is just climbing that corporate ladder way faster than we are. And we feel badly about that. Or we see the other moms at our kids' school who are showing up, volunteering in the classroom all the time and at every sporting event. And we're over here at work or on a business trip and we can't be there. So we feel badly about that. And at the core of this is feeling like we are not measuring up and meeting the expectations for the role of mother or worker. So it's this incredible guilty feeling that we're failing on all fronts. The other part that contributes is our own internalized belief of what a mom should be and what a working professional should be. And so when we should on ourselves, we have all these unrealistic expectations and these standards that we can never meet. So then what happens is we feel badly and we feel guilty for not meeting them. So here's the thing about guilt, and I want you to really take this in because this is the first step in your mindset shift. When somebody feels guilty, it's because they feel like they have done something wrong, they've made a mistake. So when we don't live up to the expectation of who we think we should be or who society thinks we should be, we're then doing it wrong. We're mothering wrong. We're working womaning wrong. All the things wrong. When we feel like we're not good enough or as good as these other moms here or these women working there, we are again doing it wrong. So we feel guilty. We feel guilty that we are doing it bad. We aren't doing it good enough. We are doing it wrong. We're making mistakes everywhere. And so the key here is for you to realize that you are not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong by working. You're not doing anything wrong by wanting to be a great mother. So the first step is remembering that guilt is a feeling we get when we do something wrong or make a mistake. You're not making a mistake, and you have to remind yourself of that. Now, I'm going to say, we are often going to feel disappointed when we miss things. Disappointment is different than guilt. Disappointment is something we're going to have to learn how to navigate. We're going to have to learn some resilience for the disappointment and sadness we feel when we miss things, both at work and at home. But feeling disappointed is different than feeling guilty, because when we feel guilty, we feel like we've done something wrong. That internalized belief squishes our confidence, causes unnecessary stress. Disappointed is different. We can get support and help and work through disappointment much better than we can work through guilt. So disappointment, yes. Guilt, no. So I live in San Diego, California, and just the other week I was on a flight to Boston for a week-long work event, and I was able to get the in-flight messaging, and I was getting updates on how my son's soccer game was going. And I heard that he scored 3 goals, and I was getting updates from his other mom and from my parents about how great the game was. So I text him so that he would have a message from me after the game. Hey, buddy, you did a great job. Looks like you just did amazing in the game. I'm so proud of you. And he writes back, thanks. And I see the little ... And he says, of course, the game you miss, I score 3. And I was like, oh, man, there it was. The disappointed feeling and the sadness for missing that game washed right over me. And it was sad, and I was disappointed to have missed that great game. And I texted him back and said, I know, buddy, I'm so bummed I missed it. I'm just going to have you score more goals next weekend when I get back. And even the upbeat, optimistic message didn't take away the disappointment I felt. But the difference is I didn't feel guilty because where I was going was a really big work project for me that I'm excited about and I feel proud of and I've been working hard on. And so I knew where I was going was really important for my work. It wasn't a bad choice that I was making. So the first step in stopping the mom guilt is to recognize that you're not doing anything wrong. This works the other way as well. There was a big gathering with a bunch of alumni and past friends from this work organization, and it would have been really, really cool to go. It was at this cool place downtown San Diego. I knew a lot of friends from my past were going to be there, and I would have loved to be there. But my daughter had an important game that same night. And since I had been missing for this other really important work trip, the decision in that moment was that this game was more important than the social event. Now, was I disappointed to miss that event? Yeah, of course I was. It would have been amazing to see all those people. But I didn't feel guilty because I was really happy with my choice to go be where I was with my family watching my daughter play her game. Again, you can work through disappointment. You can talk about it with people. You can own it and acknowledge it, but guilty is something we don't have to feel. The second piece with this is I've already kind of alluded to are the choices that you make. So the behavioral action is to be discerning and focused. So it's important that you are thoughtful about the choices you make for where you put your energy, your attention, and how you spend your time. There's going to be a lot of work events. There's going to be a lot of projects. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to work late. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to see your kids play. In this day and age, kids have games galore, and you could easily be watching your kid play 9 months out of the year if your kid is playing club sports or if your kid is performing in a play or in a band or whatever it might be. So the behavioral action here is to choose what's most important. My daughter's a basketball player, and I know that in February, there's CIF basketball, championship games, playoff games. I'm not missing those. Early in the season, a pre-conference game, a scrimmage, maybe I'll miss one of those. And then some of the other things that come across my desk, I might say, yeah, this isn't as important. Just the other day, I told a colleague and a friend how I was going to say no to a pretty big event with some pretty big hitters in my industry because I was being more discerning and thoughtful with my time. And when I really got honest with myself and looked at this event and the way it was going, I thought, this is not the best use of my time. I'm going to go to these other conferences instead because this just isn't going to be what I want it to be. And instead, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to feel guilt-free. Now, when I hear about all the people there and how great the sessions were, of course, I'm going to be disappointed that I couldn't split myself in two and both be there and be here at home. But I'm not going to feel guilty about it because I know in my heart that my choice is the right one. So be discerning and then be focused. Once you make that choice, stay focused and locked in on where you're at. If you say no to a work event so you can watch your kid play, then put your phone away and watch your kid play. Don't be texting and working while you're in the stands. If you're deciding to work late because you have an important project coming up, then tell your family, hey, I'm going to be focused on working for a couple more hours tonight, so unless it's an emergency, I'm not going to be available. And then lock in and be focused there. That way, when you get home, a few hours later, you can put your phone down and be at home. So this idea of being discerning with your choices and prioritizing what's most important for your energy and your time, and then focusing on where you're at is the way that you're going to know, I'm doing the right thing. There's nothing wrong with my choice. Then the third thing is using your emotions. So here's the thing. Allow yourself to feel the joy of both parts of your life. There are going to be some joyous parts of your work life. Celebrate those accomplishments. Celebrate when you and your team exceed standards, when something goes better than planned. If you hit some goals and do really well, celebrate those. Feel the joy of that. And then when you're at home and there's moments of joy at home, feel the joy of that. When we feel the joy where we are in the present moment, then we're not wishing we were somewhere else. So allow yourself the positive emotions that come from working and from being a mother. Okay, this takes practice because again, society, maybe your parents and your in-laws and your friends and social media, all is gonna bombard you with messages of how you're doing it wrong, not good enough, not meeting expectations, letting everybody down. You may think I could be higher in my career over here, I could be a better mother there. Part of it is you recognizing that you've got the power to make choices. And I'm hoping that you're gonna be making choices for what's most important in your life. Think about those three things: your mindset, you didn't do anything wrong, your behaviors, be discerning and be focused, and your emotions. Allow yourself to feel the joy that comes from both parts of your life. It takes practice because this is a tough one, but the more you work at it, the easier it's gonna be, and you'll find that you don't feel guilty. You might feel disappointed, but we can work through disappointment a lot easier than we can work through guilt. So give that a shot. Let me know how it goes in the comments. What other things do you try to get rid of mom guilt, or where are the places that mom guilt just bogs you down? Having a conversation together in community is another one of the great ways to work through some of the challenges we face as working moms. Thank you. I see you. I appreciate all you do. See you in the next video.